From LALATE News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is the Midday Report on LALATE.
It's a big midday here on LALATE with incredible great news about your fourth stimulus check update of 2021 today. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why you're likely to get more months of checks from those Democrats. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal. The House has passed the reconciliation procedural step. Next step is the House. And Nancy Pelosi speaks out about this. We have incredible great news as $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people. I'll explain what those checks are and when. Then we cut to the breaking news as Pelosi, Jalapal, the president and other members of the Democratic Party give us major updates that we did not hear yesterday. We're going in a different path and a different timeline, and it's going to be sooner than anticipated. I have all the breaking news at noontime. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which in days from now starts with that raise of your benefits up, SSI and SSDI going to legislative vote. I have all the details across the board in this as well. And then overnight, another viewer gets over $8,000. George, California, rent. He joins Mark, who got $50,000. I'll show you how you get this big money across the board as noontime heats up. Right now, direct from Santa Monica, live on air, this is LALATE. Hey, good noon time, everybody. How are you doing? Hope the weather is good where you are. It unfortunately started to heat up here in LA. Oh, I told you on Mornings LA about 2 hours ago that I felt the heat coming on, and there it went. It just suddenly came out of nowhere, and now we're heating up. How's the weather where you are? Jump in the live chat and tell me where you're tuning in from, and how's the weather? In this fourth stimulus check update of 2021, a lot of breaking news just happening in the last hour or two. I have all the details. First, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check and why the Democrats are likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. At $3.5 trillion have been passed by the House, by the Senate Democrats. Next up, the House. But the House could be getting into session sooner than thought and getting it done faster than thought. Then we'll be cutting to the breaking news as Nancy Pelosi spoke out about what comes out next. And I have all that great news. Guess what? It is fast and easy breezy. Very good, promising news. Then we cut to fifth stimulus, which raises your benefits up a lifetime across the board, and it starts in September. A familiar face is coming back to this channel, and that familiar face appears in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay around to see the breaking news on that as well. And then we cut to the big money that viewers continue to get as George from California got $8,000 overnight for rent. I'm so excited for him. Very exciting news. Congratulations, George. But other viewers like Mark, who got over $50,000 from this channel, I'm going to show you how you can get these massive sums of money. And this is LALATE, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning like right now, and then taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Afternoons LA at 1 o'clock. This video will automatically take you there. You don't have to lift a finger, sort of like Chuck Schumer. And then coming up at 3 o'clock is Afternoons LA's new show today. Then Evenings LA at 5, and then Sirloin at 8. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers at YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now so you get access to all the information as it breaks throughout the day. This is going to be a big day, a big week with a lot of breaking news. We are far from over. We have a lot of breaking, twisting turns, and you're going to see in this video a lot of stuff proposed. It's exciting. Also, stay with me this week, and a lot expected as well. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers at YouTube record. Next stop, 1 million. Like the video. 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, so you get access to all this big money. Let's cut to the breaking news, starting with the fourth stimulus check. House versus Senate, Senate versus House. They both pay monthly, but different numbers of checks. House provides, that is certainly not the right graphic. I just leaned over and grabbed the wrong one. There you go. House provides a stimulus check for the remainder of the pandemic plus 1 year. Senate is July to December. Let's go over the payouts. House, $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000. Senate, monthly unknown, but word on the street is the Senate would pay you this. Deliciousness, $2,000 over 6 months, $12,000, or $1,400 over 6 months, $8,400. Southwest Airlines announced that it's slashing its earnings guidance for Q4 the fourth quarter 2021, because it's seen number of reservations going down dramatically and number of currently booked reservations canceling dramatically because of Delta. And that is why the House bill would likely pay the full extent of how it's written, pandemic plus 1 year. That means it would pay more than 1 year of checks, which would be more than 12 checks, which would amount to more than $13,000. Compare that to this. And the Senate, I think you have an opinion. I think you have an opinion. Jump to the live chat right now and vote House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from and how's the weather. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? Democrats represent that if you got a third, they're going to give you a fourth. Single individual, $75,000 or less. Democrats represent they'll give you a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, $150,000 or less. Democrats represent they'll give you a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent they'll give you a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, Democrats represent they will give you a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check will be the same amount for adult dependents and everyone else. And the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you're at the Dodgers game and you're in the stadium and you see the wave coming, oh, here it comes, hey, wave, and then you sit down. And you notice to your left, oh, there's that check. I haven't seen you from the beach. And notice the check did not stand up when we did the Dodger wave. Hey, check, what's going on? Why did you not wave? Rude check. No, it's not a rude check. It's not a waivable check. And also, it's a Dodgers fan. It's a Giants fan, not a Dodgers fan. There we go. In the second half of this video, we'll be getting to the breaking news as Nancy Pelosi speaks out about what we're wondering. That is step two. What's going on with step two? And is step two moved up earlier? And is the next step actually going to be easier than initially thought? I have all the incredible great news in the second half of this video. In the final 15 minutes, stay to the very end, we have the big breaking developments, which is what's going on with recon procedural versus recon substantive, and why is the timeline now seeming to be narrowing and going faster than initially thought 48 hours ago. It's all incredible great news. But first, heating up also is fifth stimulus. Because guess what? September's knocking on the door. That's not the pizza delivery guy. That is fifth stimulus. And it raises your benefits up if you're on SSI and SSDI. But first, let's get some money. Get that pen and paper ready, and I'll get you some money right now. We can get some utilities, some rent, some SNAP, some mortgage assistance, and more. And if you're new to finding this channel, welcome. If you have watched this channel before and have not gotten the money, today's your day. And if you've gotten one sum of money, today's your day to get the other sums of money. We're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, and also homeowners utilities. And guess what? The numbers are incredible. I had said $5,000, approximately 4 to 6 months of rent for money for rent I could get you. Well, viewers have now spoken, and they have gotten more than $4,000 for rent or $5,000. They're now getting $27,000. Congratulations. Elizabeth, who got $27,000 for rent. Just incredible. Mark, $25,000. Nancy, $24,000. Richard, $22,000. And Nisi, $22,000. If you've had success stories from this channel, send me a private message on social media. Here are some of the messages coming in the last few days. Pamela got $12,000 for rent. Carla got utilities and other sums of money. Tiffany got $13,000 for rent and other sums. Randy got $6,000 for rent and also utilities. And Jennifer got $5,000 for rent and other items. And Cecilia got some money for heat. Utilities, water, gas, heating oil, and more. I said I can get you $300. Well, guess what? Viewers got enormous sums of money. Are you ready for this? Bam. Wow. Nancy, great job. Great job, Nancy. $7,000 for utilities. Mark, $6,500. Angela, $5,000 for utilities. Boy, and then we turn to SNAP. SNAP is money for food. I thought maybe $5,000, $6,000 because we had a couple of viewers who got it. Well, you ready to see the numbers that people are getting for SNAP? OMG, here we go. Bam. $18,000 for SNAP. Louis got incredible. John got $10,000 for SNAP, $10,000 to $12,000, and Nancy $5,000. Finally, for people who got multiple sums of money, this is 2 or 3 items or more. Are you ready for this deliciousness? I think you are. Ready? Can I hear a drum roll? OMG, here we go. Bam, Nancy got $32,000 for rent, utilities, and SNAP. And then Mark got $32,000 for 2 items, and Nisi $23,000 for 3 items. These are all Purple Hawks, these are all members. These are all subscribers across the board. Congratulations to all of you. I am so, so proud. But Mark, interesting twist here. So Mark had gotten 2 items. And I said on camera, Mark, you got 2 items. What's going on here? You only got $32,000, Mark. Go get the 3rd item. And so over 7 days, I made recordings saying to Mark on a camera, I said, hey, Mark, go get some Snap. Because Snap eligibility is easy. So you and I thought maybe he would get 4,000, 5,000. I said on air, maybe 8,000 to bring you to $40,000 total across the board. How much do you think that Mark got? How much money do you think Mark got for Snap? Well, it wasn't 8,000. It wasn't 5,000. It was $19,000 annualized for Snap. And then away we go. Mark got $50,000. My goodness. And this is LA. This is what we've been doing since day one. On day one, I was getting 10 plus EIDL loans approved per day at $150,000 a pop approximately. Getting viewers $25 million of EIDL loans approved that were stalled. People had applied for EIDL loans, the money was not coming. So on air, I was fixing their applications. Off air, I was working on their helping them in private messaging throughout the night into the new morning, and volunteers were helping me as well. And then fall stimulus came around. $600 stimulus check, December, wasn't yet coming. Viewers needed money. So I stepped forward and I got viewers $250,000 of rent, like family 4 out of Boston, Tyrone. Got $16,000 for rent, paid all his rent for 6 months, family of 4. But now we're doing numbers we have never seen in the history of this channel because of you. You're just doing astronomical numbers. It could potentially be over $250,000 of money you're getting a week. It's incredible. So get that pen and paper ready. Today is your day to get this money. Today is your day to get the 3 items. I want you to get all these items starting right now. First, you're going to reach out to different places I'm about to show you. 6 places. So you'll keep on looking at each of the places. Number 2, if one says no, reach out to the next. And number 3, they have different eligibility. Number 4, every state is paying money. There's not a single state in the United States that there's no money being paid. Number 5, it's important to listen to those keywords I say in the video in just a second because the keywords are helping people get approved. Are you ready? Here you go. You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, your state housing authority. The keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, rent or mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. And there you go. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Chuck's July 4th deadline. Yeah, they don't know that. I think Chuck doesn't know that anymore either. And there you go. If you got money for rent or utilities, post it in the live chat. Congratulations to them and Linda who got that wonderful pot of money as well. You know, on Facebook, someone sent me a message just a few minutes ago, said, can you send me the link for where I get the rent from? Gotta listen to the videos. Gotta listen to the videos. This is not like McDonald's where you drive in and it's like, I like to order some rent. Just give it to me. No. Listen to how you get the money because that's how you're going to succeed. All right, the next part of the money is the money coming back from Snap. What is Snap? Snap is money for food. How much does it pay? A lot. Who writes it? It's Department of Agriculture. Reach out to Department of Agriculture to get it. Mark got $19,000 annualized for Snap. Louis got $18,000. John, $10,000 to $12,000. Lynn Glenn got it for herself, her son, and her mom, and Gail got it as well. What is Snap? It is that money for food. And how much does it pay? A lot. A family of 4 out of Hawaii gets upwards of $60,000 a year. Whoa, why so much money? Because of 2 wonderful executive orders, one from Biden, one from Trump, that raise your benefits up 15% between now and December. So go get it. If you got in Snap, post in the live chat right now. If you got rent and utilities, post in the live chat right now. Which brings us to the 14-minute mark, and we're killing it. You're killing it. $27,000 for rent, $19,000 for Snap, $8,000 for utilities. We're just getting started. The next pile of the money is the money coming back from your states due to overpayment and a computer error of unemployment benefits. Where's that landing? Direct deposit. Reach out to your state to get it. One viewer got $3,000, another viewer got $5,000. Reach out to your state, say, hi, state. I'd like to track that check due to computer error. And can you track it with a computer that's actually turned on this time? It just sort of helps. I'm looking at a blank screen. I understand why the screen's blank. Oh, did you turn the computer on? No, I didn't. And then lastly, the refund check coming back from IRS. Margaret got this, Cod got it, Michael got it. And guess what? It's a waivable check. Oh my God, Mitch, I know that makes sure your hair stand on end, whatever last piece of hair there is. But it's a waivable check, Mitch. There's a new check coming every week, sort of like another Kardashian. There's a new check coming every week, and it's about $1,200 to $1,400. It is coming by direct deposit or mail check every week. More about that in a second. But first, if you're in the live chat and have not posted your success stories, please do. I'm here to help you, and you're here to help other people, and that's the spirit of this channel. When you post your success stories in live chat, you help people three ways. Number one, you inspire them, because people are now realizing, wait a second, I can get my rent paid, I can get my utilities paid, I can get some money for food. They don't realize that until you post your success stories, and you inspire them. I have one viewer, Larry Maui, who never heard of Snap until he heard my recordings. I think he got almost $400 or $500 a month, and that's just incredible news. Second, you inspire people by getting 3 items. Art Sullivan got 3 items, Nisi got 3 items, and they inspired Nancy to go get 3 items. Mark at 2, and he got inspired to go get 3, get $50,000. And finally, it updates us about the money. All right, let's go back to those unemployment benefits. How much is it landing? Let's say you had $9,000 of total unemployment benefits. You paid taxes on $5,000 total, of which $4,000 was your taxes on unemployment benefits. Congratulations, you get back $4,000. Where? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah. Go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. It'll reveal the tax return you filed and the taxes you paid. And 70% of the time, it'll reveal stuff you never wish you had ever heard of. Like, what is that hair color called by Nancy? Is it called Schumerish? It's called Schumerish. And can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second, it'll also reveal the tax return check you're getting back from IRS. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the second part of your fourth stimulus check update 2021, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people in the fourth stimulus recon spending bill. We've had a first, we've had a second, and we've had a third stimulus package. They were about this big. This one is this big. It's just 1,000% bigger. Moreover, the prior stimulus packages were this big, and 90% of them were dedicated to U.S. corporations, leaving you this amount of money for us. Well, guess what? There's a lot of room in this fourth stimulus package to give checks. Checks of all types to the American people and stimulus checks. And I had told you that the recon procedure was going to pass the Senate easily, because they had polled their Democratic caucus and said, you agree upon it? They did. And it passed. How did they do this? By taking roads and bridges out of the recon and put it into something called the bipartisan. And a conservative publication confirms my reporting that originally what had happened was that the recon was too big. But what they did was they made it made it easier to pass it by taking the roads and bridges out. By allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon, roads and bridges, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. There you go. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable, and they're now both passed on the Senate side. So what came next, first time you're hearing this on a noontime ally, is that the recon price of $3.5 trillion was agreed upon by House and Senate Democrats, not just Senate Democrats. So you see a lot of my quotes that go over are House members, not senators. They all asked for this price tag, and they got it. So when the bill lands when the recon procedural lands in the House, it's going to be an easy vote. Representative Richie Torres, representative, that means he's House, Democrat, New York, said we have to have a larger recon. You got it, Richie, $3.5 trillion. And Representative Ilhan Omar, also House, Democrat, Minnesota, progressive. So we have to have a recon that goes as far as we want it. You got it, Elon, $3.5 trillion. And the progressives, House and Senate, were meeting with the White House daily to ensure the recon went big and bold enough. Jalapal, who's in the House as well, and Shantz, who's in the Senate, had met with the president. The president had told them that the White House considers the progressive priorities in the recon his priorities. So what is a recon? What is a bipartisan? What's the difference between a recon procedural and a recon substantive? Who writes the recon substance, and when does it get written? Let's go over all the details with new graphics you're seeing for the first time on Noontime LALATE. First, let's go over the words of the two paths. Recon is your money. Bipartisan is not your money. There's actually 3 bills we're doing: recon procedural, recon substantive, and bipartisan. But let's just first start with the simple basics. What's recon? It's your money. This is for stimulus, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill, also called the spending bill, because they're spending money on American people. $3.5 trillion is the price tag. People quote an article about it, or an AOC or Bernie. Then bipartisan, not your money. Roads and bridges, price tag $1.5 trillion. People quote an article about it, like a Kristen Sinema, Ron Portman. Okay, that's easy breezy. Let's go over the difference now between recon procedural and recon substantive. 2 days ago, recon procedural passed the U.S. Senate. It's now heading to the Senate, now heading to the House. What's recon procedural? It simply asks two questions. One, do you agree to later this year do a recon bill that'll have a total price tag of $3.5 trillion? Yes, I agree. And you agree that when we do that recon bill, the recon substantive, that different committees will be delegated different sums of money, which are the following. I so agree. That's it. So it basically agrees upon the total price tag, $3.5 trillion, and agrees upon how much committees are getting of that money. $10 to this committee, $20 to that committee. That's all it does. When it goes to the Senate, when it goes to the House, this is an easy vote because, as I said a second ago, the price tag of $3.5 trillion was already agreed upon by House and Senate Democrats. So then what is a recon substantive? Recon substantive is after the recon procedurals pass. Now that the committees are delegated money, $10 for this committee, $20 for that committee, then the committees decide how to spend the money. Who gets it? When do they get it? How much do they get it? How do they get it? That is then put to writing, and that writing is what we call the recon bill. The recon bill has not been written yet, so let's go over how you write a recon bill. Who writes this recon substantive bill? It's written by subcommittees. Under the Constitution, different subcommittees are delegated different subject matters in the House. For example, House Ways and Means subcommittees are responsible for writing stimulus checks. The House Ways and Means Committee is also responsible for writing unemployment benefits. When each of the subcommittees are done writing the recon substantive bill, 10 subcommittees, for example, with 10 pages. They combine them, send them up to Chuck, and he puts a big S on it, which represents slow. No. Schumer, no. Laverne and Shirley, no. Seductive, no, that's another channel. It refers to Senate, and that is your Senate bill. And that is what they actually then vote on. Recon substantive. But is it going to start on the House side instead of the Senate side? OMG, is that breaking? It is. It's in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay with me as I go over that and what Nancy says about timelines and when that recon procedural vote in the House will happen. It may be even earlier than initially thought. It's coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. But how do we get to this wonderful spot? From Jalapal, who recently wrote Schumer a letter saying, Chuck, call the vote on the recon. Well, that letter was signed by 12 House Democrats who are among the 100+ who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks in the forced stimulus package. Wow, Purple Power. They're writing the recon now. You got to push and ensure these people keep their promise for those monthly stimulus checks. Can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee wrote the president a letter recently saying, we're going to give you monthly forced stimulus checks. Well, again, Purple Power, they're currently writing this legislation now. Recon substantive, you have to ensure these people keep their promise and put those checks in there. And can we top that? Yes. As Biden did it, he went overseas about 7 weeks ago for a global minimum corporate tax rate ceremonial signature. But now it's actually law. And while you and I may not know what this confusing thing is or don't care to know what it is, it's great news because it's not in the recon. Making it easier to write and pass the fourth stimulus substantive recon. Number 1, easier to call the vote on, easier to write it, easier to call the vote on it. Number 3, easier to vote on it. And number 4, easier to pass the fourth stimulus recon substantive because this confusing thing, the global minimum corporate tax rate minimum, is not in there. Can we top that? Yes. As we go into the final 15 minutes of this video with a lot of breaking news. Number 1, Nancy speaks out. Number 2, Nancy clarifies her comments from a few days ago, and it's great news. Number 3, the president speaks about the situation. Number 4, new dates revealed. OMG. And number 5, new revelations that things could be easier than thought. Finally, a return of a familiar face to this channel. It's all coming up in the final 15 minutes of this video. Stay with me. But first, a familiar face as well, the volunteers. If you're having problems getting that rent, utilities, food, or internet, you've tried to get it, always try to get it yourself, then reach out to the volunteers. They're on the community page. Open the description. It'll send you to a link to the community page. That's news.lalate.com/community. They'll help you get the rent, utilities, food, internet, and SNAP. And here's a little bit about them. I'll be back with 60 seconds with the big news in the final 15. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.lalate.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on Mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right now on a big noontime LALATE. How are you? Boy, away we go as Force Stimulus heats up. And in the second half of this video, we'll be going over the breaking details of new dates and new statements from Nancy Pelosi. But first, subscribe. How are you? I hope you're having a beautiful afternoon across the board. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000-3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Let's cut first to the surprising details of this stimulus, which heats up in just days. The President of the United States had promised the American people to raise their benefits up if they're on SSI and SSDI. Then during the transition papers, he promised again. Well, guess what? Good news, as the Democratic coalition represents, they're taking care of this for you in what's called fifth stimulus, which starts just within days. Fifth stimulus starts legislating, drafting in September. Step one is they're going to raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply a new benchmark, and that benchmark will be for your benefits next year. Let's go over the analysis. Number one, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll remove the asset limit, add an inflationary benchmark, remove the income exclusion, and remove the marriage penalty. Let's go over how this calculates starting right now. Who is this for? You, if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad Benefits, Veterans Benefits, SSA, or multiple beneficiaries. Step one is they'll raise your benefits up. Step two is they'll apply a new benchmark. When? In December. What will it be? Inflation. And where's inflation going? It's going to be transitory. What does transitory mean? It means a temporary spike, says Jay Powell, head of the Federal Reserve, in December. Oh, yes. Great news. Right when they apply your benchmark. So how high is that inflation rate going to go? I've been reporting it's going to go about 5%. I detailed a little bit more about this earlier today. As the new unemployment numbers were released, the best numbers since the pandemic started, signaling that inflation is going higher. It's getting hotter. I'm looking for about a 5% inflation rate temporarily in December in this transitory period. So let's do the analysis. First, they'll raise your benefits up. Then they'll apply the benchmark. Let's say it's 5%. That means your benefits step up another 5%, not just next year, a lifetime. Because once your benefits step up, they never step down. Then they'll remove the asset cap. Dating back to a 1980s law that says you can't work and stay on benefit, that you can't have more than $3,000 in hand. Now you have room to have some muddled. Did you just call this muddled? No, this is not muddled. You have some room to have some Crayola blue crowns in your hand. And then you're going to remove the income cap, dating back to a 1960s law that says you can't work and stay on benefits. And finally, the marriage penalty is going to go away. Love is going to win, and you'll be able to marry your longtime love interest. You no longer fear a loss of benefits, and your benefits will be restored if they've been disqualified. Viewers like Rob and Sandy will be able to get married and no longer fear loss of benefits. And that's fifth stimulus. There will also be a fifth stimulus check next year, the House Ways and Means Committee represents. Meantime, if you're on the live chat and you have not gotten a purple hawk emoji next to your name, then what are you doing? You need to join and become a member. Members are delivered daily from me via the YouTube page, a breakdown of all the big money that you are entitled to. And here is where it lands. In spring of last year, when I started watching videos, I realized people were commenting in other people's videos when I wasn't yet covering the subject matter of what day in May am I getting my second stimulus check. There was no May second stimulus check. And people were saying, I need it right now in May because I'm financially dependent upon it. Immediately, I started recording videos and launching this channel saying people should never be dependent upon the day in which a check lands. That's called financial dependence. Finally, by December, the federal government had approved a $600 stimulus check, but I said to viewers, don't be focused on the day in which the check arrives, because it's going to arrive. Focus on the other sums of money that are available under second stimulus for you. And that's how Tyrone and his family four got $15,000 out of Boston. Viewers getting $250,000 of this channel for rent so that they were financially independent for rent for months. In January of this year, I launched Purple Hawks, hawk, to pounce and get money before anyone else. What was the focus? The focus was it was going to be a $14 stimulus check, but do not be focused on it. Rather be focused on getting the other bigger sums of money that are in the third stimulus package. Fortunes. All these stimulus packages have monies for you that are enormous, and you need to apply and get the money. Don't be focused on the arrival date of a stimulus check. So suddenly, I told viewers don't focus on $1,400 stimulus check, focus on the $14,000 you can get from third stimulus. And guess what? They did, and now Purple Hawks are getting far more than $14,000. They're getting $20,000, $30,000, $50,000. So consider becoming a Purple Hawk member. The link's under the video right now. The federal government looks at individual citizens as having certain bills, like the following. You have 7 bills, perhaps rent, utilities, food, internet, mortgage, or medicine. And then you may have a bill to fix the car on the driveway and get some shoes for the kid for school. Well, the federal government ain't going to pay for the shoes and ain't going to pay for the car. But the federal government will, under these stimulus packages, likely pay for all those first 5 items: medicine, mortgage, rent, utilities, and more. When you get the federal government to pay for those 5 items, you're financially independent from them. You're no longer financially worried about those bills for 6-7 months, freeing up all this extra cash which you would have otherwise had to spend on those bills now, so you have the ability to pay for the car in the driveway and also the shoes for the kids. And that's what financial independence is about. And that's what's happening with this channel over the next few days as new programming is added to this channel to show you how you can be financially independent and stronger going forward. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done. $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to the American people under this fourth stimulus recon. The recon 1 is all spending. 2, all spending of checks on the American people. And all 3, all checks on you. Let's go over everything you need to know, starting with the recon itself. 2 days ago, the Senate passed the recon procedural, which is basically the amount and also how much of that amount is going to be given to committees of the government. Next step is that the recon procedural goes to the House. It's going to pass the House in a split of a second. Why? Because the House members were part of the discussion about the $3.5 trillion. They were part of the agreement to reach the $3.5 trillion price tag. So this is not like they were left out of the discussions. It will pass the House right away. Next, let's go over then to recon substantive. At that point, they go right into recon substantive and start getting that ready for vote. Let me go over the following analysis for you. First, I'm going to go over the voting process. I'm going to go over Nancy, the president, Jalapal, and more. Then I'm going to go over the new dates revealed. Then I'll go back over to recon substantive. And then I'll go over the return of a familiar face. All right, let's go over first the dates. So the dates are revealed overnight. Surprising details. Now remember, recon procedural is very simple. They have to just send this over to the House and vote on the price tag and the committee and the amount that is dedicated to the committees. So what are the new dates? Here are your new dates. Number 1, recon procedural, that's P for procedural, will be voted on in the House on August 23rd. They represent now, with the H representing House. Number 2, September 15th, they represent that the recon substantive will go to a vote on the first step. And while we originally thought that the recon substantive would start on the Senate side, go to the House, there's a star next to the word House. You can't see it under the overlay graphic. The star represents, or asterisk, represents propose. They're proposing the recon substance to start on the House side not the Senate side, on September 15th. That's the breaking news today. This is great news for us. Why? Because the subcommittees of the House are writing the recon substance, as you already heard. They're likely to give you more money, and it's good news that it would start in the House because there are people that are more progressive that would spend more money on you before going to the Senate and then the president. And then finally, a new date that surfaced today is September 30th. Again, this is proposed. They're proposing to get all the recon into law by September 30th. All right, so let's go over all the new quotes and also what were the quotes coming into today. So first, the President of the United States has indicated he is not signing the roads and bridges into law without the recon going back into law as well. As to the roads and bridges, the bipartisan, he says that if that is the only thing coming to me, I'm not voting for it. I'm not signing it. They have to come to me in tandem. I'm not just signing the bipartisan, forgetting about the recon. I propose both of them. All right, so that's the president, number one. Number two, Nancy Pelosi had a comment a few weeks ago, which I was running a lot. And 2 days ago, I said to you, I hope she's referring to the whole recon. We now know, due to her clarification of comments last night, she is. Great news. So she said, there won't be a bipartisan unless we have a recon bill ready to vote on. We now know she's referring to the whole recon, not just the recon procedural. Plain and simple. In fact, I use the word ain't. There ain't going to be a recon unless we have there won't be a bipartisan unless we have the recon passed by the United States Senate. Then Jalapal has said, and this quote is actually more important because of what I'm about to say to you in a second. We did a poll of our House member, Democrats, and the overwhelming majority said they're not going to vote for the roads and bridges without the recon. All right, so what did Nancy Pelosi say just hours ago? So Nancy Pelosi said that she is not doing things based upon her own prerogative, rather based upon the overwhelming majority of her House Democrats. What have they said? Do the recon and don't do the recon first, and don't just do the bipartisan without the recon. This is what she said in these new comments released for today. I'm not freelancing. This is the consensus of the Democratic caucus. The votes in the House and Senate depend on us having both of the bills. Here's why she said the comment. Let me explain to you why. The House of Representatives has a lot of people in it, hundreds of people, hundreds of Democrats. Of those hundreds of Democrats, as Jalapal represents, the majority, nearly vast, almost all of them, have said, we're not doing roads and bridges without recon. Okay, pretty easy. So why did Nancy say it's not coming from me, it's coming from the caucus? She wants to rely upon their allegiance to doing the recon with the bipartisan. That is great news. Why? Because there's approximately 3 unnamed Democratic moderates, just 3, of a body that has hundreds of people in there, that say, no, do the roads and bridges first. She's pushing back and saying, hi, you're just 3 people. We got 100 people here that don't want to do what you want to do. They want to do the roads and bridges together with the recon. More about that in a second when we get back to a familiar face back to this channel. Let's now go to the content, the substantive, recon substantive. Let's go back to that graphic. So what they're going to do when they come back into session on August 23rd is the House is going to pass the recon procedural. This is about as easy as cake because they've already agreed upon this previously, privately. So this would be done in 10 seconds. Then what will happen is that the House subcommittees that have been writing the recon substance will have just a few days to get the recon substantive bill written. And that says how the committees are to spend the money. Who are they to spend it on? Where are they to spend them on? And when are they to spend it on? This is why it's important to push. And last night, I brought a familiar face back into the channel. I was on social media and I just tested it out and I wanted to see the reaction. And the overall reaction was, LALATE, bring it back. So it's back, baby. Welcome back to Familiar Face, Seats for Stimulus. It's important to understand that Nancy is dealing today with exactly what we're dealing with. There are 7 House seats up for re-election in November. Next year, there's 34 Senate seats, which is basically over 30% of the U.S. Senate. The House can drop, the Senate can drop at either of these 2 elections. Why is seats for stimulus so important right now? And why is Nancy's comment related to seats for stimulus? Because of those 3 people who are moderates, of hundreds that want roads and bridges to go with recon, those 3 people said, no, I want the roads and bridges to go right away because I need to show something in my jurisdiction that I did when I go up for re-election. Here's where we want to be opportunistic people, is because we want to push and say, you want to get reelected? Show what you've done by ensuring we get a stimulus check. We have to push Purple Power because now they're writing the legislation. Now is the time in which they're writing the recon substantive bill. And while $3.5 trillion of checks are coming to you in the 4th stimulus package, there's only humans voting in the fall elections. So we don't want to hear too much of them saying, I'm giving money to the climate, because, the birds and the clouds and the sunrise are not voting for you. We're voting for you. So you better deliver on your promises. Seats for stimulus. Go on social media, share these videos, tag your elected House members and senators saying, do what's right. Hashtag seats, the number 4 stimulus all together. Hashtag Purple Power, hashtag LALATE. Make a trend online. Keep on pushing, because across the line, this is very important. All right, let's recap where we are right now. The House recon has passed. The Senate recon procedural has passed. It will now land into the Senate recon procedural has passed. It will now land in the House for a vote on August 23rd. It will pass easily without a blink of an eye. Then by September 15th, they represent the recon substantive will go for a vote. They're considering to go to a vote on the House side first rather than on the Senate side first. They're considering, again, that's an asterisk, they're considering getting the whole recon done by September 30th and into law, because they have a series of other deadlines that are due. There are 6 House seats that are up for grabs at about just a few weeks later, and those 6 House seats need to learn that they better do the right thing, because Purple Power is watching them. And with that, stay on this video. It'll automatically take you to Afternoons LA, which starts at 1 o'clock in just about an hour from now. Then a new Afternoons LA at 3 o'clock. Then we go into Evenings LA. And with that, subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video. 2,000-3,000 likes. Every like's help. Share the videos on Facebook and social media. Hashtag Seats for Stimulus. And consider becoming a Purple Hawk member so you get access to all this big money. I want you to get all this money because it's available there for you to get. Stay informed, stay focused, have a beautiful afternoon, and stay with LA for more.